Trivedi. Now may I invite Mr. Piyush Tripathi from Adani Gas to come and talk about natural gas vehicle.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
When we talk about just a slight background on the NGVs, in late 70s, CNG was started using, and Italy and New Zealand were the early leaders in this case, where they started on CNG. Then subsequently in 80s, United States of America also entered there, and today in most of the countries it is being used. So if we talk about the NGV, basically it operates like gasoline-powered vehicles only with spark ignition and with IC engines. And in this case, natural gas is stored in the cylinder, which is generally kept in the backside of the vehicle. And I'm generally talking about the cars which we are working on it. And presently around 29 million NGVs worldwide, with India alone having around 3.3 million vehicles running on natural gas. OEMs and suppliers recognize natural gas as an environmental friendly, safe and economical vehicular fuel, and this sector is witnessing significant changes in line with the global industry also. Fuel efficiency, lowering of cost of operating a vehicle has always been a key factor with Indian customers. However, of late, emission and safety have also assumed a great importance in NGV and CNG usage. So this is a typical NGV vehicle, bi-fuel vehicle, where you have gasoline as well as natural gas available in the system. If you see main components, this is a dedicated NGV vehicle which does not have the alternate fuel. The key components of NGV refers to high pressure regulator, ECM, then CNG filling receptacle, CNG injection system, high pressure CNG cylinders. These are some of the components of the NGV. This is a typical diagram where gas flow is indicated. We can see the CNG cylinders there. It is coming here, air intake is there, and air fuel mixture is happening. So this is a typical where the pressure is also reduced from 200 bar in two stages, then it is coming to 1.2 bar, then it is getting mixed there. We all know advantages. If you really see, with air quality issues, natural gas as a vehicular fuel has become a more attractive because of its inherent cleaning burning characteristics. NGVs have the potential to lower polluting emissions, where air quality has become a major public health concern. And NGVs also have lower emission levels of oxides of nitrogen and sulfur, known to cause acid rains. Global warming potential impact of a NGV will be less than that of a liquid hydrocarbon fueled vehicles. To add on the other advantages, there is 77% less particle emission than a diesel car, 11% reduction in CO2 emissions, 90% less nitrogen oxides. It's economical as compared to petrol and diesel, less wear and tear on engines, and with the recent introduction of biogas, that same biogas can also be used in these vehicles also. That's an added advantage. CNG is suitable for all segments, car, bus, trucks. Of course, in today's scenario in India especially, you don't have luxury cars on the CNG running, but all other mid-segment vehicles are on CNG cars. And the other advantage what we have with the natural gas transportation, mainly it is done through pipelines, so it does not have to be moved by road tankers, and thus it reduces the number of trucks if you consider that diesel and petrol tankers moving around. So in with the pipeline transportation system, it is not required. So that is one of the advantage one can say. Look at emerging trends and developments. Global NGV market stood at USD 110 billion in 2017 and is expected to attain a valuation of approximately USD 185 billion by the end of the forecast period, say 2025. Then fueled by renewed interest, the global NGV market has expanded significantly in the past decade. The demand is complemented by growing awareness towards sustainable fuel of CNG vehicle. Moreover, preference for NGV is contributed because of rising prices for petrol and diesel. CNG vehicles represent the notion of clean technology adoption. Car makers have identified the market opportunity in CNG vehicles and are investing in promoting its growth. Cars with a dual fuel system are high on demand because of environment-friendly, fuel-efficient, economical, which is a prime marketing pitch for such vehicles with a high number of price-sensitive customers, especially in India. Lightweight vehicles are in demand these days and will retain its growth in the coming years, because as we know, today 70% of the geographical area has been allocated to CGD entities for creating the infrastructure. Government of India has already unveiled a natural gas infrastructure development plan to set up 10,000 CNG stations over the next 10 years. New corridors with CNG ecosystems are getting developed, thus removing intra-city movement as constraints. Earlier, we used to see that infrastructure is not available and vehicles were not able to ply from one city to other. Now that is being removed because, as I mentioned, around 70% of the geographical area has been allotted to CGD entities, and in the 9th and 10th round, most of the CGDs have already commissioned some CNG stations in their new geographical areas. NGV by 2030 may achieve 50% sales penetration of natural gas vehicles with infrastructure in place. If we really look at 10,000 CNG stations coming up in another 10 years, then probably the volume of 50% sales will be achieved. The other option which is being explored and which is a reality also is the LNG as transport fuel in medium and heavy commercial vehicles. Buses and inland waterways vessels is being explored. Use of LNG for intercity truck movement should be given priority, and commercial vehicles OEM should be encouraged to change to LNG use in a definite period of time. Technologies and equipment options. Natural gas vehicle technology that allows for varying levels of fuel flexibility. A dedicated natural gas vehicle that is only capable of running on CNG. The other one is biofuel vehicle. The dedicated CNG vehicle, as I mentioned, has a constraint of moving from intracity regions. So the biofuel vehicle is a better option as of date, and it is being used more frequently by people. A dedicated CNG vehicle typically has the lowest range of these options and likely has the greatest need of fueling infrastructure. Biofuel vehicle can operate on multiple fuels independently and create additional options for refueling and offer a greater effective range, while biofuel operations provide an opportunity for driver to choose petrol or natural gas biofuels. Sequential CNG kits are introduced to match the performance of EFI and MPFI car by delivering computer-controlled CNG gas injection through nozzles. By product type, the market has been segmented into OEM and car modifications. OEMs are focusing on factory-fitted CNG vehicles and have been lobbying with government to promote such vehicles. The car modification segment accounted for the largest share of the market so far and is expected to be the largest as well as the fastest growing segment in the coming future. So basically in India we had a retrofitting big market, and it is still there. Now with the BS6 vehicles coming, we need to see how that market is going to respond to it. So if we really see on the challenges and issues, only few vehicle OEMs produce factory-fitted CNG vehicles. Huge price difference between a factory-fitted CNG vehicle and retrofitted vehicle. Cost of CNG conversion is high. If we really see late 90s when the CNG came to India, the cost of the kit was probably the same which is today. So there has not been much development in terms of kits, and retrofitting cost is same, more or less around 40,000 or so. And with BS6 coming in, probably that retrofitting cost will increase, and that may go somewhere around 70,000 to 80,000 also. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Tripathi, for timely finishing.